Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and this is a special episode of WELDERFABBER. Building our first bucket with the main man himself, Steve Reedy. You might have seen him in a previous chapter, but we decided to bring him in on this special build because we want him in this first bucket build. Now then, we will build buckets to any spec for any customer at any design. Now then, this is the spec of our bucket that we're building for Howard Stott. I basically designed a full spec quarry bucket, but that is not what he actually needs. So we spec'd it down, reduced the price, and this is what we've ended up with. So we've got some heel shrouds here, straights to go on the bottom, and we've got some on a taper to go around the curve of the bucket. We've got some J550 adapters with some big tips. We've got a 60mm HB 500 lip by 400mm. We've got a 20mm Hardox 450 foreskin. Now the reason why it's 450 is because 500 could potentially crack in the press. So that's why I went for 450. Now then, the back beam, 450 again. If you look at this drawing here, director, some buckets you can put a tube here, and probably one day I will put a tube there. But on this bucket, because it's going on a demo site, we're going to go with this back beam. So we've got a skin at the bottom and a thinner skin at the top, and we've got a 40mm nose on the front here. HB 500. So I think the starting point will be connecting this beam to the skin, probably tack the lip to the skin, so we get that measurement, and then we'll put the side on. The weakest thing on this bucket, in my opinion, is that. Not that it's weak, but I can only see that as being the weakest link. But I'm going to put a small prep on there anyway. That is a Lenoff, because it's going through a Lenoff hitch on the machine. So, without further ado, Cal and Steve are going to start putting this bucket together. Right, so we've just got the toe plate to the bottom now, nice and flush. We've already got the prep on the toe plate, so what, 4 runs on it, Cal, 1.5 inches, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and then we'll get with measurements. Right, so now that we've got that tacked on, I want to measure it from there. It should be 12.36, Cal. 12, oh my word, 12.36. That is some seriously good pressing. What you got, Steve?
12.34.
12.34, right, so we could knock that out of touch, 2mm. I'm happy with that. So I'd say now we'll put the top beam on, yeah? That will allow it to stay where it is, I'd say. Which we'll put a little bit more weld on it. Another one in the middle, put a block under the backside, yeah, and then we'll put the top beam on, yeah. Right, so we're 4mm over at this side. So we'll weld an ion to the top beam. and we'll just pull it back 4mm to get it nice and square. Careful on it now. Careful on it. Right, so we just set up, we pulled it in, but it's also pulled this side in. So we're just going to put a power pack in here now. So what this is a crucial bit to get this nice and square. Bang on 1236 there. Out of touch. Oh, a mill. Oh, that was sad. Done some good pressing this lad. Right, now let's get a side nose on that I like to call them. Alright, so we've just come across a little problem. We've got a 400mm edge and we should have a 300mm edge. If you look in there, so the quickest way around this now is set that off, straight line cutter on it, take 100mm off it, put it back on. Take us about 45 minutes. Let's do it. Right, so we've got the straight line cutter set up, oxypropane, and not happy about cutting this edge. So, if you put more heat into that edge, especially all the way down there, I don't think it'd bend, but it could potentially put it at risk of cracking in the future, further down the road. So we ain't going to do that. So we're going to take 100mm off this edge of the bottom. I think that'll be a lot safer than cutting the edge. And all we'll have to do, this blue piece here, we'll have to notch it to go over the bigger edge. So it's been drawn as a 300 edge, but we've actually got a 400 edge. So we will have to notch that blue plate there, but everything else should stay the same. So we're just gaining more strength at the front end basically, but it just knocks us back an hour or two. But that's what we're doing.
tap.
Just one more tap, you see. One. Oh.
Yeah.
So much.
Guys.
Right, so we're back where we were now, with 100mm cut out of the floor. Got this side nose on, and we're just about to notch this bottom plate. Because this is longer, the edge is longer, we need to take 100mm out of the plate.
Guys.
So we left a 5mm gap here, so we don't need to prep this plate on the opposite side. And we've got a 20mm overhang here to allow for a 20mm wear bars. So far, so good. Let's get this top plate on. Alright, so we dropped 15mm at the bottom, and we dropped down to 10mm at the top. Got a 3mm gap there in the middle, and again 5mm gap all the way up there. So we'll get a full pen butt weld on that. Starting to look like a bucket. Now let's get the other side on. Okay, so we just had another chain block on here, pulling it square. It was 20mm out, so that means you need to pull it back 10mm one way. And with pulling it back this way, you have to break tacks on this side to allow it to move. So now we've got it all nice and square. Looking good. We'll put a load of stitches on it now, all over. We'll clean the hanger up, put a prep on the hanger, get the hanger sat on it, and then we'll put all the wear bars on it. But also, before we're going to do any welding, we're going to fully descale it everywhere. Take all the scale off, all the paint from the Ardocs. These adapters, they are weldable paint, but we'll still take the paint off. We'll take that adapter off, take all the paint off, take all the scale off the edge, descale everything before any weld goes into it. But quite an easy job, I must be honest. A lot easier than I thought. Looking good, ain't it? Looking good. So now we're just going to tack everything on it that we can tack on. All the adapters. These plates here are actually an extra that we've done for the hanger. So we'll have a big prep on here. So we'll prep both sides of that. Big prep there, big prep there. Needs a little bit more off there to get it flush. See, it's not far off there, but needs a little bit more off that back corner just to get that flush. We've got the hanger tacked on, the Lenoff hanger. Now then, these Lenoff hangers, you have to buy the Lenoff hanger to get warranty with the Lenoff hitch. Otherwise, we'd have just had that made, or just cut it ourselves on plasma. But the tolerances are within, I think, plus or minus ½ mm, so they have to be bang on. Otherwise, you void your warranty on your Lenoff hitch. So yeah, we'll get everything tacked on, all the wear parts tacked on, preheat everything before it's welded. especially hardocks. Unfortunately, this will have to be painted. If it was up to me, I'd just lacquer it. Yeah, I'd take my time in doing the bits of grinding up that we're doing now and just lacquer it. But I'm pretty sure Howard will want it black. Although I'm not sure. I'll have a chat with him, see what he says. So we have got our branding to go on it, and we are going to put our branding down here. This is a 15mm plate. We're going to use another Hardox 10mm plate here with a big WF in it. So that'll give us 25mm at the bottom corner there. But all buckets moving forward will be numbered. This is WELDERFABBER bucket number 1. So if anybody out there looking for a one-off bucket, we are your men. Any bucket, any size, for any machine, that's what we're aiming to do. We are not going to mass produce buckets in any way, shape or form. There's too many people out there doing it. We don't want that market. We just want one-off builds. So if anybody wants a special bucket out there, get in touch.
Right, so we've got the bucket on its back now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get all the wear strips, get the adapters welded on, well tacked on, get all that buffed up so it's all nice, clean, bright metal, plenty of preheat, and we'll start welding.
So now it's all tacked up, the welding has begun. As you can see, there's our reedy welding there, 10 runs in there. Beautiful. And we've just had a visit off the main man himself, Howard Stott. Alright, because I wanted him to give us an inspection before we went any further, before we welded any tips on, because we thought this gap might be a little bit too big. When I originally designed this bucket, I designed it full rock spec. So we had extra noses on here that bolt on, we had wear strips that go run on the inside, we had lip protectors on here, so there was a lot more on it on the original quote. But when I sat down with him and went through the quote, we decided to make it a little bit cheaper by taking a few parts off. But the boys are on with welding it now. They're on 1.2mm solid wire at the moment, and we're going to step it up to 1.6mm solid. But Howard has decided he wants an extra tooth in it, so we're going to like basically split this up so you've got 4 spacings. I have one just arrived in the van there, and we've got some hard ox arrived to make with plates with our WF logo in them. Lads are just having a quick break. 2 rolls of wire in now. I'd say there's about another 2 days welding left in this to completion. Then we've got to fully prep it for painting. Howard wants it yellow, cat yellow. And I think when we put a WELDERFABBER plate on it, we'll do the WF in black and maybe black teeth just to split it up a little bit. And now that we put 5 adapters on it, I think it was the right decision to put 5 adapters on it. Looking at it, it looks a lot better with 5 teeth on it. She's looking good, she's looking good. And I'll tell you what, I think Steve's still got it. Look at that. I thought to my sellers, yeah, lad's still got it, but he's definitely still got it. So So just think of the lineage that's come from my father that went to Steve. So all the people that Steve's taught, all the people that I've taught, now it's going to be all the people that Callum's going to teach over the years. So Callum will finish it off, and then the people that Callum teaches, it'll just continue and continue and continue, and it all comes from my father. So as the welding continues, all we'll do is just keep turning and turning and turning and keep welding the bucket in the flat position as much as possible. Keep preheating it, and hopefully we'll have one hell of a bucket at the end of it. So that's the side wear plate cut out there with our branding WF in it, Hardox 400 plate. We're about to switch over to 1.6mm solid wire. So that entails we're changing the liner, the tip and the rollers within each welder. So that should speed the welding process up. We are running solid wire, we're not running flux core. I know a lot of people like to use flux core, but you don't need to use flux core. So here's the bucket where we're up to now. We've just done a turn on it. So we're welding everything in the flat position. More to go on here, a lot more to go on here yet. On the inside, we'll probably put 6 passes all the way around to about this point here, and then we'll probably go up to about 12 from there all the way around here. Each adapter will probably have 12 passes all round. And what you've got to remember is, I always say this to people, your weld has to be as big as the thinnest material thickness. 20mm. So it has to have a minimum 20mm weld there, minimum. Yeah? So if you're welding 10mm to 30mm, you only need a 10mm weld. So this is, as you know, our first big bucket build, and I'm really pleased with the way it's going so far. We've had no issues with it. The hanger, that's a nice hanger that got supplied to us at Worsley plant. And like I said earlier, I thought that'd be the weakest point, but there is no weak point on this bucket. And as you can see, we've added this section in here to beef it up a bit on this back beam and connect it to the hanger. And we've also added these plates in at the side of the hanger. A lot of buckets don't have them, but we decided to add a little bit extra in. And I'm pleased with that. Howard is pleased with the bucket more than anything, as he did a site visit for an inspection, and we changed from 4 adapters to 5. And to be honest, it does look much better with 5 adapters on it. I think that was a good move. Obviously the guys are watching us on Instagram, as we do Instagram stories daily, so they are watching this being built daily on Instagram. Don't forget to get yourselves a haulie. So the bucket's slowly coming together now. And that's another shift put in by oh Steve. Oh new welder Steve. Huh? How much work are you going to do for us? Plenty, whenever we need you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's 12 months since you've been on gun. How are you finding it?
Like I've never been off it.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it feels just normal,
Piece
natural?
of piss. Natural, yeah.
Piece of piss.
Do it with your eyes shut.
It feels like having my dad at workshop. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? And you have a bit of banter at the same time, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
You've got to have a bit of banter in life.
That's the main thing. That's one of the reasons you come to work.
Yeah, yeah.
Have crack.
If you're not having crack at work, you're not working at right, gaff. Get out. That's what I'd say to you, yeah?
Absolutely.
So that's another one done for you, Steve-O.
Yeah.
Back in tomorrow. I think we'll box it tomorrow, don't you?
Not be fair off.
Yeah.
Honestly, it won't be fair off.
I think it'll be boxed off tomorrow, that. And then it'll go for blast and paint. So let's have a look where we're at. Yeah, I think he's still got it as lad. He's getting there. So we've just switched up to 1.6mm wire. Was that welded on 1.6 there? 1.2? That was on 1.6? Yeah. How are you finding 1.6?
It's all right. I prefer 1.2.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Cal? 1.6 or 1.2? 1.2? Right,
It's all right on long runs,
yeah.
you know. But when you've got a lot of edges and that, it seems to melt them away.
Seems
So,
odd.
yeah, turn it down a bit and then you're losing it because you might as well go back to 1.2.
Yeah. Well, maybe have one set on 1.2 and one set on 1.6. I'll tell you what, the next bucket that we do, right, because I know a lot of people within the comments and on my Instagram DMs mention flux core wire. Why you're not using flux core? Well, you don't need to use flux core. There's nothing wrong with solid, right? But we might do the next one on flux core.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, no problem.
Couple of needle guns, and welded up on flux core, and away we go. You might as well test it, haven't we? Might as well test some flux core on one. So that's just coming on trailer there. I'm not too sure what it is actually, but it's come for pins and bushes. But anyway, that's within a chronicle. There she is, all finished, ready for paint. We're just about to load onto the trailer and head up to Preston with it, a couple of miles away, and get it blasted and painted. Howard Stott Demolition. WF 001. And we've got our branding WF on the sides. Looking good. I was originally going to get it painted yellow, but because it could go on the Volvo and the Cat, we're going to get it painted black, and I might do the heel shrouds and teeth yellow, and maybe the writing white. I'm not too sure. I'll decide when I get to the paint shop with it. You know, just fill these in with white. Or even yellow, maybe the same as the teeth. So we don't want to be painting it cat yellow, which was the original plan, if it's going to go on the Volvo. Because this bucket could be too heavy for the cat that it's going on. I think it's a 36 to 40 ton weight cat. That bucket might be a little bit too heavy for the cat. If it is, then we'll bang it on the Volvo, the 50 tonner, which is what it's really built for, and build the next one a little bit lighter weight than that. I mean, we could have gone a lot heavier with this one, you know. We could have got more wear bars on it, more heel shrouds a little bit further round, We could have put wear bars on the inside. Could have put protectors on here that bolt on. We could have put lip protectors on. There's loads of extras that we could have put on that, but it was all adding to the weight of the bucket and the weight and the price. So Big Dave's on the forklift. You'll put that on the trailer, won't you, son?
I will do.
I might even take you with me to take it off, because we've not got a big forklift at the other end to take it off. We've only got a little forklift and a little machine. So I think the bucket weighs about 2.3 tons. Let's get it to the paint shop. So here we are at Preston Paints. Add blast, that will do the blasting. And these men do a proper job, believe me. You want to see some work that comes out of here. So this little machine lifted it off, quite surprisingly. No problem. Keep it close, but it's not too far out. X&P's machine. Oh, cheers for that X&P. Oh, Painter John. Anybody knows Painter John? That's where it is. And I'll get this back within a couple of days. And I've just decided that we're going to go black, red tips, and red writing. I don't know why I decided that, but that's what came to me whilst I was just stood looking at it here. Red and black goes well together, doesn't it? So I'll put it down and hopefully come and pick it up in a couple of days. These boys can push it through for me. Dave, chuck tips in the bucket, son. So they're over here. I'll leave my little snatch chain here so the boys can manoeuvre it about. But quite looking forward to seeing this painted. So you will see this painted in 3, 2, 1. And there we've got it, the end result of WELDERFABBER 001, our first big bucket build. And more importantly, built with Steve and Callum. Yeah, Dan's back off his holiday, finally. So you haven't seen him much in this video.
I've not really seen it being built, have I?
What do you think?
Oh, it's mega job. Mega job. I like the little post office red touch.
Yeah, well, I weren't sure what colour to go with that.
Yeah, I know.
I wasn't sure to go red or yellow. So let us know in your comments if I've done the right colour there, colour choice, red or yellow. And so for those people that don't know, our father used to paint everything post office red, didn't he? Everything was post office red.
Vans, cars, trailers, the lot.
Yeah, whatever it was post office red.
Helmets, boots.
Yeah,
Helmets, boots, yeah.
We never asked where it come from, but it got painted post office red, didn't it? So how did you find it, Steve?
Found it a good experience, yeah. Working with young Cal, yeah.
Did you? Good,
Yeah.
Good.
One in the up and coming.
Are you ready to come back and do a few more?
Definitely, yeah.
Are you going to come do some more?
I will do, if you want me to, yeah.
Well, I think we've got another 2 to go out
Yeah.
now. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully we might get a few more off the back of this video. Who knows? We never know. Every time we put something out on YouTube, we always get inquiries for whatever we put out on the channel. So yeah, I'd like to say a massive thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you do like what you see. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Brilliant.